Hello, and welcome to the Fear Channel, a channel with regular broadcasts telling the most chilling of urban legends, ghost stories, and forays into the darkest corners of the human mind. Those faint of heart or prone to night terrors should proceed at their own risk. Tonight's story is Ghost Train.
I was a railway fireman back in those days, working on the CPR line in Alberta. I did a hard day's work and earned a fair wage. I was young then, and my wife was just setting up housekeeping in the little cottage that was all we could afford. Life was good, and I thought everything would continue rolling along that way. Then came that fateful day in May of 1908. I was working nights that month, and my buddy Frank was the engineer. We were about 3 kilometers out of Medicine Hat when a blazing light appeared in front of the engine. It was another train on a collision course with us. Frank yelled at me to jump, but there was no time. The light was right on top of us. I thought we were dead. Then the oncoming train veered off to the right and ran past us, its whistle blowing and the passengers staring at us through the windows. But there was only a single track in that stretch of hills, and it was the one we were on. I looked over at the shrieking, rumbling train and saw that the wheels were not touching the ground. Well, needless to say, we were all pretty spooked by the incident. Frank decided to take some time off from engineering and began working in the yard, but I kept working the night shift as a fireman, not wanting some ghost train to drive me away from a job I enjoyed. A few weeks later, I was stoking the fire for an engineer named Nicholson when we heard the shrill whistle blast through the calm night air. We were on the same single track just outside of Medicine Hat, and the brilliant light of an oncoming train burst out of nowhere, blinding us. Nicholson gave a shout of terror, and I thought my heart would stop. Same as before, the ghost train veered off to the right at the last possible second. I saw it race past us on tracks that did not exist. Its passengers stared curiously at Nicholson and I from out of their windows. That did it. I wasn't about to go back on the tracks after that. I did yard work for the rest of the month of May and a few weeks in June. Finally, I decided that enough was enough, and I gritted my teeth and resumed my role as fireman. I was firing up an engine in the yard one evening in early June when the report of an accident came in. The Spokane Flyer and a Lethbridge passenger train had a head-on collision on the single track 3 kilometers outside of Medicine Hat, on the exact spot where the ghost train had appeared. The Lethbridge locomotive had derailed, and its baggage car was destroyed. 7 people were killed in the accident, including the 2 engineers. One was my buddy Frank, and the other was Nicholson.